Welcome back on Igniting Minds, the Power of Knowledge. And today we have very special guest. Guess what? If you love food, you're gonna love this man. Juan. He's a general manager at University of New Haven. So let's ask him what he has to say and what kind of special dish he has to give to students, right? So hi Juan, welcome back on channel and thank you so much for giving us your precious time. And if a lot of people they love food, and I know like you are handling so many students and as per their food. So would you like to just give the little bit introduction about you and tell about like how do you manage the food at marketplace?
Well, my name is Juan Dominguez. I'm the general manager for dining service. Dining service at the University of New Haven is managed by a vendor. It's called Sodexo, a multinational company that offers many options within feeding people. So our experience obviously concentrate on how to make the best possible experience while people are dining. We will concentrate on universities. So where our clientele is all based on students. And that makes things, sometimes food in general is a challenge. It's a challenge because we deal with the taste of people. We can find people that they love red peppers, as well as people they don't like red peppers at all. So tasting is something difficult to please, and especially on a population of 9,000 students at the University of New Haven. On a daily basis, we do about 5,000 transactions among campus.
Wow.
It was mentioned that the marketplace, that's just one of the units where we sell food, but we provide food for the students. We have FOD, we have Wow Mo's, we have also 2 coffee shops, and we have food on demand on the west side of campus. And all of them somehow take parts of all of your components of a meal plan. When I said that we serve 5,000 transactions a day dealing with the taste of people, I would like to include as well, the restrictions such as different allergies. We try to comply with the 9 most popular one. We deal also with the students that they choose to eat vegetarians or vegan. We have people that they have different preference. We have football players that they like French fries and hamburgers and fried food in general. So our mission is to create a very well balanced menu, right? When I say balanced menu, I also include different backgrounds of people. We have people here that they come from different part of the country with different customs and different cultures, different requirements. Some people do not eat pork. And so we need to manage the proteins on a daily basis.
Even some people are vegetarian who would never eat and touch the food.
Yeah.
So my question is, how do you manage? How do you segregate or make the different cook and all those kind of food where vegetarian can also come and eat freely, and on the other side the non-veg people also like they can eat and enjoy the food. So how do you manage that?
Well, at the marketplace, it's fairly simple because we have 11 different stations.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts at the salad bar, which is the center of everything. And even though it does have proteins such as meat, there's turkey, there's ham, there's boiled eggs, the option is there with a little bit of cross-contamination. So students who are purely vegetarians or vegan, right, we have to be careful themselves. But also we have other stations that one of them dedicated 100% to vegan and vegetarians, where we prevent and do everything possible to avoid cross-contamination, utilizing different type of utensil and clarifying that the station is totally isolated not to mix in with meat, especially. So on the back of the house, it's set up in the same way. When I say the back of the house is the kitchen, where we have isolated, stations that either because of allergy, like Simply Zone,
Yes.
or a vegan vegetarian, they are isolated to any cross contamination that it will ensure that the students that they choose to go in that direction, they can actually feel comfortable with it. We also have other stations that you can choose not to have meat, right? You can go to Tex-Mex
Mhm.
and have a vegetarian burrito,
Correct.
add rice to it. You can go to the deli and have a veggie wrap. You can go to Global and pick only vegetarian items. And obviously, the biggest option is on UCOC, right? Which is a station that it was built on during last semester and has 6 stations where students can cook their own food.
This is the new concept marketplace has introduced for especially for an international student, if I'm not wrong.
International also, and any kind of preference, because at the end of the day, with the amount of ingredients that we have at the stations and everywhere else, let me clarify that to your followers, right? That you don't have to use just the ingredients at the UCOOK station. You can go to Global and grab one of the station, the items that they are offered on that day. Take a plate and go finish it up with ingredients and the sauce that you like on UCOOK. UCOOK is designed especially for international population, right?
Mhm.
But also for anybody that likes to do their own recipe, build up your own, not just your own salmon, but your own recipe with your own sauce, with the amount of sauce that you want. So it's very important to please the different preference from the
Right.
students.
Right.
And here is a very important thing.
Mhm.
Don't forget, all of you listening to this, right? That we are competing with the mothers at home, with the cultures,
Absolutely.
with the countries. So where we look every day is how to make it similar. We are not competing with the students' parents,
Correct.
right, or the grandmother that does a great lasagna. But we try to under the concept that the students have to eat 7 days a week, 3 times a day in the same restaurant for
Correct.
to use a
So it
generic.
must be very challenging for you to what you need to keep like for a next day, right? You have to make a menu.
Not just for the next
so that
day. It's
for a week, like
3 weeks.
So
cycle.
you make your planning 3 week prior,
Yes.
and how do you decide on what basis?
Well, we have we are such a large company, right? That we have a database backbone,
Mm-hmm.
right? That you type chicken and you have 5,000 recipes, right?
Okay.
You type pork, right? You get 5,000 recipes with pork. So you choose. The first thing you do is on a calendar, you mark your proteins. Those are the ones you try to avoid repeating, right?
Correct.
There are not many. There's not many that you can choose to,
Mhm.
but at least with the recipe,
Mhm.
different sauces, right? You can have lemon chicken, you can have buffalo chicken,
Mhm.
So ideally, is to change from fish to pork to beef to lamb
So-
and so on.
If I may ask, so you have 5,000 dishes. So how do you you identify, okay, or you just do alternative, like, okay, we have used this, so we have just need to pick up, or there are certain dishes which is fast going, so like
Yeah.
people prefer, so you keep on those preference you give.
Our recipe cannot be repeated for 3 weeks.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the system tell you, hey, you have all these recipes available.
Mhm.
So we are building a 3 week cycle menu,
Correct.
and the system itself does not allow you to repeat. So you have to pick a different recipe during 21 days.
So
It's all set up for it.
is there like any time like student come to you and say like, oh, we want like these kind of dishes, or they came up with like some ideas like this is more preference, would we have more these kind of dishes?
Yes.
So and we have changed it according to the student. Have we done like those kind of things?
Well, we do some surveys, to the student to see what they would like to eat. But
Mhm.
don't forget that our population Our goal is to have a balanced menu.
Correct.
Balanced menu.
So that
So the football player can eat as
Correct.
much pasta as they want. The vegetarian can eat as much vegetables as they like. But we do not concentrate allocating other than global, right? Global moves internationally, and the you cook also has mostly international sauce and everything else. But we do not dedicate a full real estate, right? A full unit, just to for one group of people, because it wouldn't be fair for those one. So balancing the menu is what's so critical about it, just making sure. Now, I was involved in a little bit managing the University of Bridgeport, right?
Oh, okay.
Where they have a large Indian population as well. Probably, percentage-wise, it's larger than here, believe it or not. And one of the things that they try there, and I don't remember exactly the name of it, but it's got some kind of a white rice dish.
Okay.
What's it, brainy or something?
Biryani.
Biryani.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, that biryani is there every single day. Every single day.
Okay.
It never rotates. The recipe came from a student.
Okay.
Right? And it was a little too spicy.
Okay.
You have
That's more Indian Asian food, which
Right.
people like prefer.
So
yes.
we kind of light it up a little bit, right, at the University of Bridgeport. And I was so impressed of how popular that was to have it every day.
Yeah.
And you're not surprised, right?
I mean, so even though in biryani, being an Indian, being Asian people, like we understand there every time biryani you can change the flavor, you can change the base of
Oh, really?
yeah.
Huh.
So biryani is not only one dish. Even though in biryani there are like multiple flavors, multiple
wow.
type of biryani. So I mean, like you can have I'm vegetarian.
You can eat some kind of biryani every day.
Yeah, I mean, like if you have 5,000 dishes, like if you'll ask Asian people, they can also come up with 5,000,
Really?
even only in biryani.
Wow.
They'll make some. So, how India is like, Hyderabad is like more known for biryani thing. But if you go to Delhi people, they'll make their own biryani. Mumbaikas, they're
Right.
gonna make. So every people like
It's
prefer an
a little
aspect.
bit like empanadas to us. You
Yeah.
can find Colombian empanadas, you can find Chilean empanadas. But anyway, coming back to the subject itself,
Yeah.
right? I talked to Peter, our chef, to see if we can have that in addition to it, not to remove it. For example, if we add on permanently, right, at global, in the beside the daily special, the daily rotation, I think that we would, and that's my goal, for the next semester. How do we find a good couple of recipes? Now that you tell me that it's more than one, right?
Correct.
And we can do a rotation to have it there all the time.
Yeah, I mean, even only if you choose the biryani, then in biryani you can keep the 7 days all different type, or
Really?
like 3 weeks.
And you will eat all of them? I mean,
Of course, yes.
you will.
And India,
You might have some preference. I like this one better than the
correct. So
other.
as a vegetarian, I eat like only plant-based or vegetable-based
Yeah.
biryani, those kind of food.
Right.
Now, non-vegetarian has more variety of biryani.
Which one is more
So-
popular? Vegetarian?
Non-vegetarian. So like in India, people say there is no biryani if it's not non-veg.
Wow.
But as a vegetarian, that is
Right.
pulao is like
Well,
biryani.
that tell you, pleasing different people when it comes to eat
Correct.
is not easy. It's not easy at all.
And I'll tell you one of the challenge. In India, every state has a different taste, different community, different like people. And you
Spicy
see,
as well.
yeah, I mean Hyderabad people like they gonna eat spicy, like more spicy food. Where like probably like South Indian or North Indian, they will not prefer that much. Or like it has a different kind of preference. If you see even Telugu people, they eat more spicy food. Where like North Indian people, they'll be like not this. So India has that kind of diversity.
Big country.
And yeah, so every state has their own choice, own preference, and own community. So that's how like we get very surprised when we go one state to another state in US. Like it's more over like the same, it's not very different, you will not see like large difference. But the moment you change the state in India from one state to another state, you will see completely different. Like one is your appearance, the way you talk, the language you're gonna use, everything will be different, the food, everything. So you're gonna get the
And
different.
the religions also
Yeah.
affects, right?
Correct.
Some of them Muslims, some others are not.
Yes.
Right.
So that kind of diversity is there in India. So the moment we come here, like, oh, okay, that's pretty nice. So yeah, this is the major difference. That's must be challenging for you, like, especially for international student. And food is everything, right? I mean,
Yeah.
food is like gonna fill your soul.
Yeah.
And your task is to satisfy every student's all. So it's not like only Indian, it's not only like Nepali or American, it's like you have to see on a global perspective.
Absolutely.
So that is a difficult task for you. How do
Well,
you manage that?
don't forget that it takes a team, right? I mean, none of us can do this on its own, right?
Yeah.
So it takes a team, and I have 4 chefs on campus, right? And each of them they have different skills, different preference, and all of that. And my function
Mhm.
is to manage that, right?
Okay.
And to manage and kind of get the feeling from the large picture.
Mhm.
And like every organization, it's a triangle, right? Start from the top, but more people start participating
Mhm.
on how to get to the everyday operation. So, and I've been in the business for about 30 years, so I know well enough, and I have a clear vision, and I have the time, right?
Mhm.
When I say the time, it's because I don't have to be cooking, right?
Yeah.
So
You can
that
think.
allows me to, I work more with my head than with my hand. I'm not a cook. I'm not a culinary guy. I just know how to manage people with culinary. I heard long time
And
ago.
I say like managing people, I think that I find that is one of the toughest and task. If you are able to manage people and get the work what you are looking for.
It's a process. It's a
That's-
process.
yeah.
In the very beginning, I remember arriving to this account 5 years ago.
Mhm.
There were some challenges because they didn't know my style.
Mhm.
I'm a little on the tough side.
Okay. I know.
I'm your work customer, right? Because I want the best for the students, right?
Correct.
And everything else is about results. So the food process, it takes to get to the manager, to the chef, right?
Mhm.
The idea of that we have a series of different people that they want to try what we do.
Mhm.
That we have to be perfect every single time, right?
Mhm.
That what we offer, it looks as good as it tastes. It's not just how do we get a dish out that it tastes delicious, but it doesn't look delicious, right?
Mhm.
The students are not going to even try it.
Yeah.
They're just going to, that doesn't look good to me. Sometimes potatoes, you have to be careful how to, the meat, it doesn't, it has to shine, Otherwise, you think, oh no, that's too dry. Well, you're a vegetarian, so you don't care.
Yeah.
But in general, the people, that the spaghetti don't look, all pasta don't look dry. I don't know if you notice, but pasta change color.
Correct.
So to train our staff to have always a little bit of oil
Mhm.
or melted butter, and with your spoon to throw it, mix it up a little bit to
Mhm.
create shine out of the food.
Mhm.
Consistency. Once you get the looks, right, the presentation of the food, make sure that it tastes as good as it looks. Now we go in the other direction. Just to let you know, I mean, when the marketplace, that's about 3,000 meals a day, right? And so as a cook, right, you cook at home,
Yeah.
right? So you imagine what it is to cook for, okay, so tomorrow we're going to have 3,000 people, right? And you say, how many pounds of rice do I need for, right?
The measurement.
The system give it to
yeah,
you. The system give it to you. They say, all right, put 20 pounds of rice.
Uh-huh.
How much salt, 20 pounds of rice need, right? It's a lot more than this, right? So for 20 pounds of rice, you might need half a pound of salt. That sounds like it's a lot. but after you mix it in. So all these ingredients, right? All the recipe pieces, it comes already programmed, right?
Okay.
It's all, that the system helps you. Otherwise, we cannot run out of anything until the end of the night. We have to be fully loaded in every station until the time that we close.
Okay.
So all those pieces are very important. But back again to, from the lead down, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta I need to be the student's voice,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So I go to dining committee meetings, I talk to the dean of students, I go to meetings on Rest Life, where students have meeting weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes sometimes I'm invited to the USDA meetings, and we talk about food. The whole, idea is, we listen, right, and we do it, not just listen, and then we let you know that we did it, because it's a three-step thing. What the needs are, how do you get there, and then let you know that.
So that's how like you take a suggestion and the feedback from every batch or every community,
Pretty
and
much.
then you try to implement, okay, what kind of food like we should choose.
Right.
And next coming
That's just one piece. Another
Okay.
big piece is to visit another universities. What are they doing?
Mhm.
What are their best practice?
Mhm.
And imitate.
Correct.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Correct.
Like I said, the University of Bridgeport did very well with that rice recipe.
Mhm.
So why not bring it here? It's
And
the same.
it's more easy as well.
Absolutely.
The
Absolutely.
rice base gonna be the same.
Yeah.
It's just like the flavor and the base, those things like you need to change the vegetables or the non-veg or those kind of.
Yeah, and don't forget also, which is make things even more critical, that every year,
Mhm.
25% of the population change. So you
Exactly.
get 25% of the people graduate,
Yeah.
and you get
Again.
25% of the. So, and in today's world, generations change every year. It's not like my times, right?
Yeah.
That my parents were one generation, I am another one.
Yeah.
Here, every year is a
Different days.
generation. Now they put names on it. So, in that generation, it's totally different.
Especially Gen Z, like
Yeah.
whoever.
How about the allergies? We didn't have allergies. Today, every person has some kind of allergy. So it's a constant accommodation. But to be able to accomplish that,
Mhm.
you have to, as a general manager, you have to be a good reader. When I say reader, reading people, listening to people,
Also.
interpreting people,
Mhm.
see what you have, what's a profile, what's the prototypes, otherwise you're not going to make it. And I think the success of this university when it comes to dining is because we do pay a lot of attention to and react to it.
Mhm.
One thing, pay attention, react to it, and let everybody. So social media is a
Mhm.
great tool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we let people, adding on food trucks,
Mhm.
right? Who would think 5 years before COVID, a food
So
truck
that's how
was-
like you are approaching and promoting your food like to student as well.
Let me
Like-
tell you,
Yeah.
just let me give you a current example, because food truck is almost like they've been there forever, right? That's how we feel.
Uh-huh.
But right now, so students' behavior or habits, right? They want something available to eat at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? So we put a 24/7, right,
Mhm.
unattended
Mhm.
ramen option. I don't know if have you been there?
No, I don't think so.
Well, in where Brickell, the building, right there we have a 24/7 option,
Okay.
right? That you go in, it's card access only, and you purchase. There is a ramen option that is very popular, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But not enough. So now I just signed the contract to bring in something it's called a unit, right?
Mhm.
Technology.
Mhm.
It's called Just Bake,
Okay.
right? And then we're going to put another one that's called Viki, right?
Mhm.
So let me tell you a little bit about. So now we're offering food 24/7,
Wow.
right? 7 days a week.
Mhm.
But the ramen was not enough. How
Mhm.
many times can you eat ramen every week, right? Not that many. I mean, people might eat it every day, but the majority is not going to do that.
Mhm.
So to the ramen, we're going to add this semester
Mhm.
a unit called Baked, and it's going to have hamburgers, egg sandwiches. It's going to have all kind of food, that you can choose. I agree with that. That type of option is not the healthier things.
Uh-huh.
So we add Vicky.
Okay.
And Vicky will have from, no, it's going to be on the cold side.
Uh-huh.
Sandwiches, salads,
Uh-huh.
all kind of salads, yogurt, fresh fruit, cut fruit, sushi, all kind of things. So now you're going
Are
to
you
have
getting the response from the students? Are they loving
no,
it?
well, we don't have it yet.
Okay.
It's going to be implemented after the spring break.
You are in the process of
Yeah.
implementing.
We have the ramen.
Mhm.
It's been there for a semester now.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a year in May,
Mm-hmm.
and but now we need more. We need more, and this is endless. If you think the job is done, then go do something else.
Oh
Don't
my
stay
God.
here. It's never done. It's never done. And but again, it takes a team. It takes the university to approve. The university, as a client, is very happy with the program.
Uh-huh.
I hope the students are as well.
What is the best part of your job? What is the best thing you love about your job?
When we do the right thing. When
And
we
how do
the
you
right,
identify that?
by reaction of the students. The reaction of the students. We hear about it either through social media,
Uh-huh.
through different different ways to do things.
Mhm.
We hear from the students. I mean, I'm a member of the parent Facebook,
Mhm.
right? And somebody said, "Hey, I'm not sure how the meal plan works," right?
Okay.
And somebody jumped in. Another parent said, "Write to Juan Dominguez. He's very responsive." That makes my day. You know?
Okay. And so you see the reaction and the feedback of their parents and students.
Very
You
important.
keep give
Absolutely.
attention to that.
Yes.
That are we getting
Oh,
the right
every day.
The
Every
feedback
day.
is one of the important task of yours. You have to take it so
Well,
that you understand your part of work.
You
as well.
sacrifice part of your life, honestly. I'm 24/7.
Mhm.
I remember talking to my director of operation because eventually, once I retire, I'd like her to grab, to take my job.
Mhm.
And I said, are you contemplating, to? And she said, I don't think so. I don't like your 24/7 activity. I mean, I'd like to sleep. I like to, and nothing that I don't sleep, but
Yeah.
before I go to bed, I go through all my emails. And as soon as I wake up, I go through all my emails. And on all parents have my telephone number.
Uh-huh.
All the students that they want, they can have my telephone number.
Wow.
It's got to be dedicated because the last thing that you want to hear, when you go to a store or something and you need help and you can't find it, and you are in a rush to get out of there and you can't find that, I don't know, a screwdriver or something, and nobody's there to help you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I hate the most. That's why I like to be present, like to be available, and it's not easy to engage with this generation.
Yeah. So how do you motivate yourself every day? Because every day task is you're too much to do, too
Yeah.
much to think, too much to especially when you think a lot, then you drain off more, right?
Well,
So-
I think the key word that I would give anybody that wants to grow in any business, there's one thing that sounds easy and it's not. It's called delegation, right?
Mhm.
You delegate responsibility. You cannot do it all.
Everything.
Yeah, you cannot do everything. You need to just think in this way. Just think in probably would be more familiar if I say soccer than football to you, right?
Mhm.
So the soccer has a coach, right?
Mhm.
The coach is the final responsible for it. He cannot score the goals, right? He cannot get on the field. He's probably too old for that. But he can guide all 11 players, right? But that's interesting analogy there because you need to know your player. You need to know who is going to be the one that plays better in the front, the back of the goalie, right?
Correct.
So picking your staff, and you need to hire people that they do things better than you do. So
Correct.
my chef plays a very important role because he is the one that knows about recipes, allergies, vegetarian. I don't that much.
Mhm.
I am a customer. I can eat and tell you if the food is good or not,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I'm a tough customer. I go downstairs every day, 3 times a day. I look at breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Uh-huh.
I go to FOD. I do
Uh-huh.
the same thing. And if I don't like something, that is going back.
Okay.
Just visually. So that means, well, it's overcooked, it's
So
not
you
cooked.
tell them directly that this is not
Immediately.
something which is
Immediately.
acceptable.
Yes.
It's your team. I think
Yep.
your team is giving that kind of backup to you as well, like the way like you come up with the ideas. Your team is also ready to take it up, right?
Well, and we talked a little bit about earlier, right? I think it's important what you say, but it's a process, right? The first step, right, is get to know your people and get to people to know you. Be clear, be fair, motivate them, but there is a reason why you're leading that group, and it's your responsibility to lead them to success, right? So that process is get to know the people. You need to learn how to talk to each other.
Correct.
Some people you don't mind, a tone of voice. Some others they are very sensible, to a tone of voice. You need to know their skills, right? You need to
Even the interest, I believe, like the skill, interest, where they are feeling like
exactly
working.
what's important to them.
Yeah.
Right? What's important to individuals, and kind of grab all of that and guide them through. And in the very beginning, it's not easy. They're resistant to it. And especially where it's been. You asked me for the best part of it. The most difficult part of it, believe it or not, is the discrimination piece of it. They hear an accent, right, and they're all professionals, and you can't help to think, this guy's going to teach me, where's this guy on the beginning. So you have to prove yourself, right?
Correct.
You have to, and if you have an accent, it's not easy sometimes. You get underestimated.
Correct.
Right? He can't even speak, and he's going to tell us what to do. I'm sure you've been there.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't bother me. I understand it, but I make it an important piece of it. I need to prove to them that they can trust me, and they and believe in me. And that is a process. That process is nothing less than a year. And then slowly you start accommodating the pieces, right? In such a way that motivation is number one. Not just motivate them, but recognize them, right? And after you recognize them, then you give them a prize. Somehow.
How do you do that? What do you give? How you reward them?
For example, be very tolerant about their personal needs. I'll give you an example. Thanksgiving, right? Week. It's been a long September, a long October, half or more than half of November, right? So I give them the whole week, right? Without using vacation time, it has a lot of value. You know what I mean? Because most of us have family at home, right? And what better than that you can get? Then there is a financial evaluation every year that they get salary increases, right? And that's another part of it. But nothing more important than be happy at home, spend valuable time. There are some times that a manager can close the night here. I'll kind of close it for them. You know what I'm saying? Be part of the team, not be the boss.
Yeah, not a
even
dictator,
though you are a
like
decision maker.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the boss.
Here's the thing: if someone is joining you, very fresh, fresher person. So I see a lot of people. Your team is very good and they are ready. They know how to do things and all. So how you gonna train that person? And how if he's not ready or he's still. So what gonna be your approach to train him?
Well, that question, you have to bring it back to the interview, right? And there is a very difficult time there to pick the right person, right?
Yeah.
You have a position, right? And you have applicants, right? And the applicants have all different kind of backgrounds, right? So that hour or two that I spend interviewing people, it becomes very critical, not just to hear what that person had to say, but for that person hear what I have to say. To have a clear expectation. The worst thing that you can do to a relationship between someone that works for you are the surprises. Well, you never told me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So put everything on the table, right? We have people that we lay them off in the summer. Just tell them. Money, talk to immediately. Don't leave. You know how you interview for a job and nobody is afraid. Everybody's afraid to talk about money, right? I make that the first topic.
Okay.
What are you looking for?
Okay.
Make sure that that person wants the job. Make sure that that person is qualified, obviously, but and we are the offer for that person. Nothing worse than to hire someone and that person after 6 months leave because they
Because it's, I think like it's an effort. It's
Yeah.
effort of like giving training to someone, and also like that person should be satisfied in terms of money, in terms of work, or
Exactly.
in terms of mental health as well.
Yeah. So finding out what that person does, right? And for that person, finding out what you have to offer, what the job is all about it. That's where the training begins. And the training has different things depending on the activity that they do. You know, training, it's online available, shadowing people, spending time with people, giving the time, giving the tools. You know, so it's a combination of things. You and be totally convinced that you're setting that person for success. If you're not, either because you don't provide the time to be trained, you throw in on the floor right away, or you don't give them the tools, you know, to be successful, or the authority.
Yeah.
You know, that's very important. You know, that person has to earn the authority, has to know how to lead and get respected from the people that that person is going to supervise. So it's a process. It's not just one thing.
One
it's
big
many
thing.
things.
Yeah. Okay, that's amazing. I mean, like we got to know like a lot of insight of what are the challenges, what are the opportunities, and how you cope up, how you manage. Because from outside, like as a student or as a who's not a part of the team, from there, like if we see it looks very easy.
Yeah.
But the moment you get into like how they are managing, even though like if this is something happening or some mistake happening, you need to sometimes like ignore it. Okay, you have to also manage with them.
Pick your fight.
Yeah. So like so from there, like after talking to you, I'm thinking like, oh my god, I have to do a lot of things, management, especially like manage people, and get to know like student interest and the feedback like from their parents. If they student will not be happy, parents will be like not happy, right? So those are the things which is very important. Now so this podcast has two round. One is like sharing the feedback and like talking about the experience, and the second one is like fireside round, where I'm gonna say one word, whatever you think in your mind, you have to immediately talk about. You cannot
Talk about it. One
I mean
word.
like just one word. You
Okay.
can't think about too much or talk too long. Just like a one word. Okay.
Okay. We'll laugh.
Okay. Okay, so I'll come up with, you can't see that.
Okay.
Okay, so student,
My life.
food,
Absolutely needed.
passion,
Everything.
culture,
Very important.
goal,
Please people.
education,
Sometimes needed.
leadership,
Critical.
opportunity,
I hope many.
okay, community,
Important. Very important. Very important.
success,
What's that?
success,
I'm hearing that right?
the success.
Oh, success. Right.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. Sorry about that. Success is a goal. It's something that you look forward to, right?
Okay. And you have been like so many years, you have like such a good experience. Would you like to give some advice to student and about your experience, or like to say something to them?
Yeah. It's very important, for me now, right, to realize that I got where I get, right, because I did one step at a time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Life is not far from what we do as a human being. We are born, and the first thing we do is behold.
Mm-hmm.
then we crawl,
Mm-hmm.
then we walk, then we run, and everything else. I think that your professional life, or once you become independent after you finish,
Mm-hmm.
everything it has to be one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't rush. Many times, taking a step back
Mm-hmm.
to move too forward
Mm-hmm.
is absolutely necessary. Learn from the experience,
Mm-hmm.
apply your experience,
Mm-hmm.
but the most important is one step at a time. All of that,
Mm-hmm.
and be respectful, be consistent, right, and be fair. Those are pieces of my life that they got me to where I am. I feel I am very
Yeah.
successful.
Yes, of course, yes, because a lot of students are, dependent on you right now. And food is something no one can, everyone, they love the food, what they are looking for. They
Yes.
will not eat what
Yes.
you gonna give.
Yes.
They will eat what they will love, right?
Yeah.
So,
We are competing with parents' food.
correct.
Yeah.
So, and
And the culture.
with the global, I think like I find it, my other friend, like he was telling, Rupal, what do you think about the restaurant business? I am like, dude, that's absolutely, business. You're going to get the feedback there and there.
Yeah.
Nobody gonna take or do the process.
Yeah.
If they will not like it, they're gonna say it right in front of you. So managing that is taking feedback on the spot, and food is you have to give fresh, healthy. You cannot manage with the quality. You can
Yeah.
not, so.
And you
that is
have to
gonna
believe in
definitely-
what you do
yeah.
because, if somebody happens, a parent Facebook or a phone call said food at the marketplace is horrible. And that touched me, believe it or not, it touched me. But in the same time, I kind of say, wait a minute, I have 3,000 people eating today. They all seem to have, you know what I do to measure the quality of our food?
Uh-huh.
I go to the dish room, right? And I see if the plates are coming back with food, right?
Okay.
So, and I do that at least twice a week, right? I don't have time for every day.
Uh-huh.
And I tell my chefs to do the same thing. Ask the dishwasher what's not being eaten.
Mhm.
I'll give you an example. A lot of, there was some time that a lot of burritos were coming back halfway ate, right?
Mhm.
So I looked at it, and the Chipotle burrito that you can hardly hold it. It's about this big.
Mhm.
Just make it smaller.
Yeah.
I mean, we are wasting food. It's nothing.
How do you manage the wasting food? I have noticed like it's such a sometimes like people student they take it, but if they are not liking, they're just throwing. How do
Well,
you
technically, we don't have waste. Everything goes somewhere,
manage? Mhm.
right? But the
What do you do
garbage.
with the waste?
All right. So there is different type of waste. The leftovers at the end of the night, they get donated to soup and kitchen in New Haven, right?
Mhm.
So homes that they invite people don't have anything to eat, right?
Mhm.
We donate the food, everything that gets left over.
Okay.
Then there is a kitchen in the university
Mhm.
that we freeze that product and donate it for those ones that they can afford food,
Correct.
right?
Okay.
Now that is all food that has not been contaminated, has
Mhm.
not been touched.
Mhm.
The food that has been touched, right? It goes to a composting.
Mhm.
So there's a company called Blue Earth
Okay.
that has blue and yellow containers in the back of the marketplace,
Okay.
and all food gets there, and it goes to a company that recomposes it. So, and that food, some of them goes to farms,
Mhm.
right? Some others go to companies who make dog food or something,
Mhm.
because it's all clean food, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And some of the products they do make oils and other things,
Okay.
But food in the garbage
Mhm.
is practically zero.
Okay, so we at University of New Haven, you are also looking at the sustainability side of it.
Absolutely.
So the waste should not be there. We have to focus on sustainability. We have
Yeah.
to focus the all the food should goes at the right place,
Yes.
right? So with this, thank you so much, Owen. I mean. The more I talk, I am like coming up with more questions, but we have very short time and limited time period. So
We'll do another session.
yeah, so like probably we will do like another session on different topics, specific topic. Let's talk
That's
about
right.
the sustainability, right?
Yeah.
So we can do like the series. So with this, thank you so much for being with us, and I hope you like the content. I hope you get something out of it, and yeah, eat food. What you do, what you love, and we'll meet next time. Tata, bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.